Well, our next speaker, man, how do I explain Levi to you? He's one of the most loved speakers that has ever been on the stage. He's like Christmas morning, you know what I mean? He's like the 4th of July. He's a big deal. Everybody loves him, and that's why he's doing so well, because he cares about people. He's funny, and he is smart, and he's intelligent, and he is going to just kill it. Help me welcome to the stage Mr. Levi Mcdonald, everybody. Give him a hand. Woo! Come on, Levi. Go get him, baby.
All right. BUILD23, what's up, y'all? Make some noise. I'm so happy to be here. For those of you all who don't know me, my name is Levi Mcdonald. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. That's where I'm born and raised, and that's where I live right now. My family, they're here in the audience somewhere, my wife and my 3 kids. I joined EXP in September of 2018. I'm a 4-time EXP Icon agent, and I'm blessed to have a revenue share organization of 1,050 people as of today. Truly a blessing. Everybody say it's way bigger than just a commission check. It's way bigger than a commission check. Production is everything, but we have an opportunity here like none other. When I first saw EXP, I didn't pay attention to it because I was busy. I was selling homes, I was okay, so I didn't take a look at the opportunity until a pain point came. And that pain point was that my commission structures was changing at my previous brokerage, so I had to make a decision. I took a look. And what I realized was that this model revealed some things. Number one, it answered the question that I didn't even know it was a question for me. And that question was, how much is that real estate commission check worth today for that property that I sold a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago? Better yet, what would it be worth in the future, 5, 10, 15 years ahead? The second thing was, could I be in another model where at the end of the year, I can say, how much did that company pay me versus how much did I pay that company? Any other time that we're any other company, the more and more houses you sell, at the end of the year, we've all looked at that expense statement and we saw, okay, we sold more and more houses, but I ended up paying the brokerage more and more money. Anybody relate to that? Yeah. So before EXP, my business actually started to change once I invested in coaching and training. I got into the Craig Proctor system, and I was paying like maybe $1,000, $1,500 a month, somewhere in there at the time. And I was paying for coaching, training, but what it really was proximity. I was paying to be close to some people. And that was the key thing. And what we have here is that same proximity, that same closeness, without having to pay all that money for it. All right? So I realized that there was a few basic fundamentals of being in the real estate business, not just the real estate business, but any business. Number one, in order to be successful in this business, we have to generate an overflow of business, overflow of leads. Number two, we have to learn how to convert those leads into clients. Number three, turn those clients into closings and then make more money per transaction. That right there really changed the game for me. And I'm gonna hit on that before I get off the stage. And lastly, being able to create a system of raving fans where your past clients become your spear, and it continuously produces referrals and all that good stuff. All right, so this is some real high level stuff right here. The first thing that you gotta do is let everybody know what you do. I know that I know that the cheapest ticket in here is $1,000, and you guys are looking for some very high level stuff, but I just want to show you what's worked for me. Always let people know what you do. Reach out to the people that are in your existing circle, your family, your friends, your church members, your co-workers. The first 2 houses that I sold were to people that I actually worked the job with, all right? Let them know that this is what you do. Ask for the referrals, and then also, just continue to put that message out there to your database. Generating leads is actually an easy thing to do. It's not that hard, we can pay for them. The problem with generating leads is that they don't convert well all the time because the agent doesn't always know what offer the lead responded to. So the offer is what really matters, and then it's up to you actually knowing what that offer was. So when you think about lead generation, I want you to think about, who do I want to serve? Think about service first. So when I got my license in 2006, I didn't really get my license to be a real estate agent. I got my license so I can represent myself as an investor when I bought and sold properties. But in 2008, I bought a house, and probably like 3 weeks after I got that property, the market crashed. And I was a 22-year-old kid, still living at home with my mom, facing foreclosure. So went through that. I learned the short sale process inside and out. And because I learned that process inside and out, I was able to start utilizing my license to help families avoid foreclosure. So that's how I was able to go in and sit at the table with grown men and grown women with family and actually talk them through how to avoid losing their home in foreclosure and how to exit gracefully. So the first thing that you want to do is identify the problems of the person that you want to serve, and that actually can also be the niche. So whether your niche is first-time home buyers, whether it's new move-up buyers, whether it's sellers, whatever the case may be, identify their problem. Call their problem out. Relate to it, and then present the solution for them. All right? And then you want to give them a call to action. That call to action is, what are you going to do to help them? How do they get in contact with you? And if you do everything right initially, in most cases, they're going to convert right after that. But if they don't convert, make sure that you get their information so that you can keep showing them, and educating them along the way on how you can help them solve that problem. So really the main thing is that you just want to be different. Be different, offer value. We're in an industry where everything has to be the same. Your business cards got to look like this. Your sign got to look like this. You can't do videos. You can't send letters. They want us all to be the same. So do whatever you can do to kind of stand out and be different from everybody else. All right? In this market, in this industry, right now we're going through a change. Anybody feeling that change? I know I am. So I was thinking about what could I share. I wanted to share with you all something that we put into place years ago, and it made us more profitable. The majority of all of us work with buyers. The majority of all of us come across buyers. So in the first year of tweaking my buyer's presentation, we put an additional $67,000 of commissions in our pockets without having to do more transactions. Over the last 6 years, that added up to be about $460,000 in commissions. And I want to show you all how. Can I do that? Yeah. So what we did was we put together an elite VIP buyer agreement. This is not nothing that I created. This is not nothing that I came up with. This is something that I learned. Copy, copy, copy first. I'm not going to be able to go through all of these steps, but what we did was we really over-communicated the process, okay? We over-communicated the simple process that we all know about, that we all go through with our clients. I can't stand, maybe I shouldn't say this, I cannot stand the state buyer broker agreements because they don't show the clients any value. All they do is they tell them how much money we make. If we don't get it from the seller, then they owe it to us. And if there's some issues going on, then you got to hold us harmless. And here's a protection agreement, right? What this agreement does right here is that it offers them value after value after value after value, and you're stacking everything that you're doing. And it's very simple. Like the first one says, we will help you secure the most suitable financing for your property and your unique situation with the lowest interest rate and closing costs possible. Additionally, we're going to get you a pre-qual letter so that you can have a competitive edge. All that is what the typical agent says. I'm going to send you to my lender and get you approved, so when we make an offer, we can put this put this approval letter with it and submit it. There's a different way to say that. There's another one on there that says we're going to arrange a private showing for you anytime you want to see a property. Duh. Right? So all of these different points are things that we do on a regular basis. You guys will have this because the slides are being provided. We use about 15 different points. But what I want you to do is just think about your process of dealing with your clients and make this a 20-minute conversation and dive deep on the value. Dive deep on what you're going to give them. Dive deep on what you're going to do so they understand it and they feel like they're getting something special. So here's the key to it. At the end of this presentation, at the end of this conversation, I should say, because that's what it turns into, at that point in time, you say, okay, Mr. Buyer, I know you're probably wondering, you're going to get all this stuff, and you're probably wondering how much it's going to cost you. No, that's the magic question. The answer to that is, Mr. Buyer, normally, we make anywhere between 3.5% plus a $7.95 transaction fee, okay? 99% of the time, the seller takes care of most of that. So for an example, if we're able to negotiate for the seller to pay us 3% commission inside the deal, then that 0.5% and that $700 transaction fee, it rolls into your closing costs. And remember, we talked about what closing costs were. Closing costs include first year's taxes, first year's insurance, the fees you're going to pay to your lender, the fees you're going to pay to your attorney. And they probably won't exceed X amount of percentage. So that 0.5% and that $700, it rolls into the closing costs. And guess what, Mr. Seller? The market is changing right now. People are not bidding on houses. We're doing a much better job negotiating closing costs on your behalf. So guess what? The seller typically is going to pay for that as well. All right? Does that make sense to everybody? You got to do that consistently. Consistently. If your price range is about like mine, which is about $300K, if you do that for 7 transactions a year, that's going to be about $15,000 more in commission dollars for you. If you do that on 15 transactions a year, that's going to be about $30,000 more for you per year. In a market where we're all trying to get more dollars and be more profitable because sales are not as consistent, something like this needs to be in place. All right? Even still, many people won't do it because it's unfamiliar territory. You're not used to doing it. We were not trained to do it. We were trained to accept what was given to us. And what happens is that it creates doubt. Doubt creates fear of rejection. That fear of rejection creates hesitation. And then that hesitation creates inactivity. And it's really all because we feel unqualified. And the same thing happens with agent attraction. The same thing happened to me when I seen that list of all these speakers, and I was like, dang, I got to talk with them people. I felt a little unqualified. It doesn't matter how many stories you tell. If people don't feel like they can do something, they won't move. They'll stay stuck. Revenue share, same way. It's been life-changing for me. There's a photo of me and my mom. She's here today in the audience, along with my family. Over the last 4.5 years, revenue share has brought in an extra $560,000 for me and my family. Extra. On top of real estate sales. I've been able to reduce a lot of personal debt. I've had some massive growth. And my mom, who I bought a house for using revenue share, has decided to get her own real estate license. So she's in the audience today as an EXP agent right now. Her very first event. My mama she failed the test 18 times. 18 times. And she would call me every time telling me, she said, hey baby, I failed it. I missed about 15 points, but I'm going again. And she kept going and she kept going and she kept going. So I was like, how does she keep on doing this? Because after 5 times, I probably would have quit. But I thought about it. My mama, she beat cancer twice. She beat a heart attack. She's beat having a stroke. I remember the day before 8th grade, we went to church that morning, came home, the house was gone, burned down to the ground. You go through things, man. You're going to go through things, but I want you all to know that your past experiences will qualify you for what's ahead of you. All right? We think that the stuff that we went through does not qualify us. We think that our past doesn't qualify us to be what we need to be. because we look at it backwards. But those things that we've gone through actually qualify you to be where you need to be. Think about what's happened to you in your life. Think about what's made you strong. Think about what did not work. What didn't work is what got you right here where you are now. It's okay to be a blessing to somebody else, even when you don't have all the answers for yourself. I think Canada has 6,000 people in Canada right now, and 600 of them are in my organization. I've never even been to Canada, but I'm going for the EXPCon in Canada. All right, that's because I just had to. I come to these events, I show up, I get involved, I leave excited, and I go share. And I went and did that one time, and I shared the model with my boy, Andre LaFountain. Andre, I love you, man. I love you, man. When Andre came into our organization, he changed the game for myself and my entire upline. Ed Milet said it at the shareholders conference. It only takes one person. One person will change your life. We're working on 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're going to keep going. Remember the story of Esther? Remember that story of Esther in the Bible? You were created for a time like this. We all have a purpose in life. Hard times don't create heroes. It's during these times where the hero in us is revealed. I told this story when I spoke at the rally in North Carolina. That's Langston, my youngest son. He got that Spider-Man outfit when he was 2 years old. He wear it every single day. He's now 6. We upgraded him to the Miles Morales. So now he's the cool black Spider-Man. But there's a wall at my house, right? It's probably like this high. He goes outside, he likes to play and run against that wall. And we're like, Langston, quit, man, before you fall and bust your head. I ain't taking you to the emergency room. Doesn't that sound familiar? Don't go over there. What they say about our company? They're gonna recruit you, right? It's no support. They're virtual, right? People tell you stuff based on their own experiences, but they don't know what the real deal is. But anyway, Langston liked to run against this wall, run along the wall, and I tell him, man, stop, before you hurt yourself. We're not going to the emergency room. One day, Langston looked at me, he said, Dad, he said, I'm not gonna fall. He said, I'm running, and if I fall, then before I hit the ground, my spidey senses is gonna kick in. He said, before I hit the ground, I know I'm gonna hit the ground, and my superpower, his superpower, that's what he meant. His superpower is gonna kick in. Before I hit the ground, I'm gonna drop, and I'm gonna roll. And then when I get up, I'm gonna say, psst. I said, what that mean? Psst. He said, that mean I got him. Y'all need to let your superpower, sometimes you gotta be falling. Sometimes you can't always have it together. You gotta be in it. Sometimes you gotta be falling because there's a superpower in you that needs to be awakened. And before you hit the ground, it's gonna kick in. The freedom of this model is in the collaboration that all of us come together and we create together. You don't have to be the one to do everything on your own. Just take your part, plug in your superpower, let the model do everything else, and then we're gonna achieve the goal that we're all trying to achieve. And number one, that goal is being better, and that goal is growing. Thank y'all, love y'all.